Is FEMA really to blame for the mismanagement of care after the disastrous Hurricane Helene? Maybe, but it could be more than that. Let's get to it.
I want to bring in now a voice that we hear from during the storm, Ron DeSantis, Republican governor of Florida, where, of course, the effects of Hurricane Helene were hit first. His state took it first. And you're feeling it too, Governor. I want to start, though, and I have to, because it just seems surreal that the President of the United States would say that anyone is happy and that they have enough at this point, and that he was confused about which storm we mean. Your reaction?
Well, Harris, we obviously got the initial impacts of the storm. It was a Category 4 storm, but we prepared for it. We had tens of thousands of utility workers ready to go. We were able to facilitate 2.4 million power restorations in record time after a major hurricane. But we also, between state and local, conducted thousands of rescue missions as soon as the storm happened. So then we were in a...
I will have to really commend him for doing that because they were prepared. Now, Florida is a crazy case because you do have a lot of insurance companies that are pulling out of Florida because of natural disasters like this right here, like Hurricane Helene. And that is something that they really need to figure out how to get things situated, because that is going to be a disastrous problem that's going to affect millions of Floridians and also other people around this country, because you're going to have insurance companies that's going to pull out and they're not going to pay the claims, or they're just going to run away and not have anything fixed. So I commend Governor DeSantis for doing what he has to do. Very good job. But to talk about Biden right now, you know, Biden is Sleepy Joe. We know this. They're trying to figure out Kamala or Trump. Let's figure out how we're going to help these states get the things that they need.
Situation where we got through Friday of last week, come in Saturday morning, and we didn't have a demand for rescue, but you saw in Western North Carolina, you saw people that were very desperate. So I authorized air assets, National Guard, State Guard, Highway Patrol to go into Western North Carolina. So it created this odd circumstance that you have people there in Western North Carolina. And look, we've got a lot of Floridians that go there over the summer, so it wasn't like a random spot on the map for us. That's an important part of our state people where they go. But you have a situation where the first people that they come in contact with is some state guard unit from Florida and not any of the federal assets. So the reality is I don't think the federal assets were marshaled very quickly at all. But the lesson that I think people should take from this is one we learned in Florida long ago. We don't rely on FEMA to do any of that type of activity. We rely.
Yes, you cannot rely on FEMA because FEMA is pretty much the person of last resort. All right. And so many people, I know that they're beating up on FEMA and saying that, oh, they gave money to migrants. But people don't understand that the disaster fund and the shelter fund is two different funds. The disaster fund was funded for $20.26 billion. The shelter fund was about only $650 million. And I'm gonna show you some links to show you that where I got this information from. I'm not just pulling numbers out my butt. These funds are totally different. Now, what we have to understand is that living in an area where hurricanes are gonna hit. It's hurricane season. You have to prepare yourself on doing the things that needs to be done to make sure that you take care of yourself and your family. You can't just hope to say, oh, well, Uncle Biden or Uncle Trump or Auntie Harris is going to do what needs to be done and save me. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to save yourself. Don't wait for Superman. Don't wait for some Marvel superheroes. Captain America is not going to save you. You have to do what needs to be done for yourself. I know that people want to blame FEMA. I know people looking on social media and seeing these people talk about FEMA, this, that, and the third, but most people are uninformed because they do not know how to do proper research and read the numbers to say what's really going on. It is crazy. I commend Governor DeSantis for doing this, but people need to understand, take care of yourself, do what needs to be done, prepare for the worst so that you will not be in a bad situation. Guys, this is just a short break. Really appreciate it if you find the video interesting to like the video. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'm a new YouTuber and I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get over 1,000 subscribers by my birthday in December, but I could only do it with your help. I appreciate you guys. Back to the video.
On FEMA to basically be a bank account. There's federal programs in place. We get our people qualified for individual assistance, reimbursement for some of the debris, but we take the matters into our own hands for the preparation and the rescue and response. And I just think it's sad that this has come to it.
And when he's talking about individual assistance, I'm going to show you something right here. This is the FEMA individual assistance page. You go here to apply for assistance for any individual assistance that you might need. Once you apply here, as you can see, you scroll down, you keep scrolling down, it's going to give you resources, it's going to tell you what to do. You either, if you need an emergency medical assistance, you must call 911. That's a given. If you need emergency shelter, you have the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and you also can download the FEMA mobile app to find where shelters are open. If you have insurance on your house, you need to file with your insurance company. Make sure you have flood insurance. Make sure you have disaster insurance. File through your insurance company. That's the first step. Then, once you have filed through your insurance company, you can start the road to recovery. Now, here it is. Before you apply, I'm going to give you this information real quick. Make sure you take photos of your damaged home and your belongings for your records so that you can make sure that you know what you're doing and you have that situated. You make a list of things. Then, as it says here, if you have insurance, such as flood, homeowners, renter, auto, or any other type of insurance, please file a claim. Do not wait. As soon as this happened, file the damn claim before you apply for FEMA, because FEMA is not going to pay out if you have insurance. They will pay out $750, but that is only serious needs assistance. That is something that you can apply for and get right away. Do not believe a lot of these people that's saying that, oh, they're only giving you that. To prove that FEMA is not only giving that, here is something that I want to show you. Here is from the official website from the United States government. Rumor: FEMA will only provide $750 to disaster survivors to support their recovery. This is false. This is a type of assistance that may be approved for soon after you apply, called Serious Needs Assistance. It is an upfront flexible payment to help cover essential items like food, water, baby formula, breastfeeding supplies, medication, and other emergency supplies.
But I've got a lot of people up there now working. They're bringing food in. They're taking people back to safety. It is a really, really dire situation up there in the mountains. And the people that have been up there before, and I've been up there a number of times since I've been governor, and it's beautiful, but it is rugged. And if roads start blowing out or failing, you can't reach some of these communities unless you're putting in air assets, which we have been willing to do.
And look, part of that beauty is because it is so inaccessible. It has preserved the nature there, and I've seen it. I lived in that state more than once in my lifetime, North Carolina in particular. It is. But where the president was, and I want, you've shown so much leadership and your experience with the storm type of situation really shines. And you see Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia, and you see others. You're having to do a lot of this on your own. So when you hear the President of the United States say that he doesn't, first of all, know which storm we're talking about as journalists when we ask about it, and then also that people are happy with what he's done, what is your reaction, Governor?
I'm gonna say this real quick. Ain't a real, like, come on. You asking Biden, who is damn near 200, who is trying to go to sleep on a beach, oh, do you know what's going on? Come on now. Biden really and truly don't give a damn, okay? He's not running for president. He's trying to figure out how he can play with his grandkids and go to the beach and whatever. But that's beside the point. right? What we have to understand is that we're on our own. We're on our own, okay? A lot of these insurance companies will try to pull a fast one, and your government will try to pull a fast one. We're on our own. We're all that we have. As Americans, we need to come together. We need to do what needs to be done and say, hey, listen, you know what? We're all we got. We all we got.
Well, I can tell you in Western North Carolina, the reports I'm getting, that's just not true. I mean, our guys are out there. People are desperate. They're very thankful that you have Florida assets that are there. I mean, we've got our Department of Transportation is up there. We brought 7,500 feet of temporary bridges. We're going to help repair bridges up there. Federal government's not doing any of that. But the reality is you just cannot, the federal bureaucracy, it's just not going to do the trick in these situations. And so we were able to do it. Interesting, Harris, in Florida. We conducted thousands of rescue missions as soon as the storm hit, a lot of it local, some joint, state and local, and other state. And all of those missions were successful. You know, we did have fatalities, but the people that were in dire straits that needed help, they got rescued and brought to safety.
And now you're able to help other states. I mean.
And that's the way it should be done, right? The federal government is always going to take its time. And you see, one thing that people don't really talk about is that during this situation, where was Congress? Congress was on recess. Come on now. We have to really say to ourselves, what is really being done for us as a people? We have to stop electing these bureaucratic egomaniacs who don't really give a damn about you or me to Congress, to the Senate, and even to the presidency. I feel that every single American should become independent. If every single American said, you know what, we're not going to be registered Democrats, we're not going to be registered Republicans, we're just going to register as independent, straight through, let me tell you what will happen. They will have to work for you. You wouldn't have all these party disagreements and stuff like that. These politicians will work for you. Forget about red and blue, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. Forget about all that. And at the end of the day, we're all Americans. And I'm tired of seeing so many things, so many people talk so much BS, and they're not really giving us the right information. They're not really giving us the help because they're toting the party line and they're doing all this foolishness. I'm tired of it, and you should be tired of it too.